Hello all, and welcome back to Help Wanted 2. In the previous episode, we solved our biggest unknown question, remember Jeremy. Now, we have to answer our next biggest question, the Princess Quest 4 Bonnie Mask. Why is it here? Well, to truly understand this, we have to start with analyzing Princess Quest. Our first question is, who is the princess in Princess Quest? I mentioned before that it is most likely Vanessa, but I also heard many different opinions. Some believed that it was Cassie's dad, while others believed that it was Golden Freddy. Well, let's try to get an official answer once and for all. Firstly, all of Princess Quest seems to be in some way recreating Vanessa's story. In the first game, the fire pits we light parallel the tapes we collect in Help Wanted. After 15 fire pits, we get the key to unlock the glitch, which parallels tape 15, which tells us that assembling all the tapes lets Glitch Trap back in. The final fire pit, number 16, reveals the glitch now in its full glory, which parallels how tape 16 lets Glitch Trap fully into Help Wanted, and subsequently into us. In Princess Quest 2, she gains a sword, now in the know for how to attack this software. In this game, we start to see her corruption. She begins gaining a double personality, a darker side. Finally, in Princess Quest 3, we collect the last piece of the Help Wanted puzzle in the form of the Glitch Trap plush. In the game, we get this plush by completing the entirety of the original Help Wanted. Then we go on to the Grim Foxy Maze from the Help Wanted DLC Dreadbear, where we collect the Vanny Mask just like in the game. Now, in Help Wanted, if we use both of these items, we collect the last piece of the puzzle in the voice and full corruption of Vanny. In Princess Quest 3, both of these items unlock the final key in the puzzle and open a secret door with our princess now fully corrupted. If we want to throw something else on this heaping pile of Vanny, we have to remember that playing the Princess Quest games in Security Breach gives us our Vanessa ending. It's all spelled out for us that this princess is Vanessa. Now, that does pose another question. Why is Vanessa considered a princess? Is this just the name of the game, or is there more to this? Well, I think before we get into that, we have to look at the final Princess Quest game in Help Wanted 2. There are many debates within the community whether we are playing as Cassie's dad at this moment, or as Vanessa. Let's try to come up with a semi-clear conclusion. We mentioned in our first Help Wanted 2 theory that based on the sword being stabbed through PQ3 in Ruin, the duffel bag message titled Arcade Conspiracy, the fact that we become the princess in PQ4, and us giving up the Vanny Mask in exchange for our connection with the Mimic/Glitch Trap, plus everything we just discussed, it seems that all the evidence is pointing towards us playing as Vanessa in the sequence instead of Cassie's dad, either physically or symbolically. But now this opens up a brand new question. Why do we see the sister location elevator at the end of this sequence? On top of that, what is Vanessa's connection to these memories that we are collecting? Let's start by thinking about the memories themselves. Whose memories are we collecting? It would seem that these memories are our protagonists, as when we collect a memory, we get an achievement titled Remember Jeremy. The use of this question mark makes us assume that this would be our protagonist's memories, considering it is being posed in a question. However, there's something strange within these sequences. As the description of this achievement mentions, we are retrieving these memories. Now, this could mean one of two things. Either these poppets represent our lost memories, but then we would need to ask why we lost these memories in the first place. Now, this could also mean that these memories we are retrieving are not actually ours. We are being given these memories, only collecting them. The hand that is giving them to us is Glitch Trap's hand, so what if these memories we are obtaining are of the man the Mimic is impersonating? What if these are William's old memories? But then that poses another question. Why is the Mimic giving us these memories? Both of these answers feel off. What if we are thinking about this all wrong? The answer to this question may fall in place later. All of these questions and answers surround the Mimic, so let's start there. The Mimic is a ruthless character in this series. It is the main antagonist of the Steel Wool era of FNAF games. Most of these new incidents with Fazbear can be chalked up to this strange animatronic. We mentioned in our Ruin theories how the Mimic is at fault for Monty's violence, Roxy's narcissism, and Chica's gluttony. We also mentioned in our last Help Wanted 2 theory how the Mimic is at fault for Jeremy, the Silver Parcel Games employee's death. Now, with a character that's all about death and destruction, it acts quite strangely towards Vanessa. Instead of killing her, it recruited her. But why? What is the Mimic's obsession with Vanessa? Let's talk about Vanessa. Vanessa started out as a beta tester for the Freddy Fazbear Virtual Experience, the in-universe name for Help Wanted. She was corrupted by the Mimic and started developing the Vanny persona. Vanessa worked for Fazbear Funtime Service until being transferred to the Pizzaplex. There, Vanny kidnapped some children, normal FNAF things, and was working to free the manipulative Mimic until you, as Gregory, temporarily cut the connection by glitching the Princess Quest games. Interestingly, this differs from the Vanessa we know in the FNAF movie. There, she was a police officer that happened to spend a lot of time at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place because she is the daughter of the owner, William Afton. Why are these stories so different? Well, the Aftons seem to play a part in Steel Wool's FNAF, no matter how small. There are a few Afton-centered areas in Security Breach. The first is what we like to call the Staffton family. In the Staffbot silo, we see a family of 5 FNAF bots around a dinner table, all resembling a member of the Afton family. William, Mrs. Afton, Michael, the crying child, and Elizabeth. This would be weird enough on its own, but there are other references to the Aftons in this game. While exploring the game, you can stumble across Michael Afton's room, hidden within the first chase hallway. This room, seen before in Sister Location, is identical to the one we see here in Security Breach. You can see the TV, the lamp, the sun clock, the exotic butters, and even the popcorn on the floor. Why are there these two huge connections to the Afton family if there are no Aftons in the game? I mean, in the movie, Vanessa is technically an Afton, but no, there's no way. I know many of us say that Vanessa's last name is Vanessa A, but this was from scrapped emails in FNAF AR. In these, she signs her name V_A, but this is scrapped information, meaning it was removed for a reason, right? Well, if we are truly going to say this seemingly speculative idea, we need proof. And I don't just mean soft evidence, we need hard facts besides scrapped AR emails. In Security Breach, you can listen to secret retro CD collectibles in Michael Afton's room. These CDs follow 2 different clients. The first is Client 71, or Vanessa, and the second is Client 46, or Gregory. If we want to understand Vanessa's past, we will need to focus on the CDs with Client 71. CD 3, or 7140, follows Vanessa talking to a new therapist. In this CD, they say, "We'll get to know each other in no time. I've read through all your files, so I feel like we've been talking for weeks. I feel like I know your dad too. Bill, right? Your dad's name was Bill?" Okay, pause. So Bill is a common nickname for Will or William, but this so far doesn't mean anything. Sure, it may support the idea, but this isn't much of anything at the moment. Further down in this CD, it says, "It's really sad, but it's common for one parent to use their child to hurt the other parent. I know your mom after she lost the custody case. I was supposed to be a good girl. What happened to her had nothing to do with you, even though it was your testimony that did it." Mrs. Afton had left the picture of the Afton family at some point for an unknown reason, so this right here does seem to connect with this idea. The 2 parents go against each other with more information about the mom no longer being in the picture. Okay, this is starting to work, but still not enough for me to say it confidently. We need more evidence, more information. We all know that in the FNAF movie, Vanessa was William's daughter. It makes sense that they could do this because this is a separate timeline, proven by the fact that Michael is a part of a separate family, and the fact that Vanessa is seemingly the same age she is in Security Breach, but decades before that game would even take place. This movie is not set within the game's timeline, so Vanessa being William's daughter here doesn't really prove anything. Unless, well, the thing about these separate timelines in FNAF is that they're supposed to push us in the correct directions. While not having to be fully canon, they are still meant to connect to and explain certain events within the main game timeline. The Mimic's backstory was told to us in the Tales of the Pizzaplex books to give us explanations on this new antagonist, and GGY was also given to us in these books to understand Gregory's connection and understanding of the Mimic. The Silver Eyes trilogy came out and showed us that people can be robots without them even knowing it, and that a dead person can live on through an inorganic body. This Silver Eyes trilogy was also the first we learned about a new Henry Emily character, which ended up being extremely vital to our understanding of events in this franchise, being officially brought into the game timeline by name in Pizzeria Simulator. All of these alternate timelines surrounding the FNAF universe are meant to connect to and explain the main game timeline. This means that we now have to look at the FNAF movie in a new light. Does this movie's timeline help explain our game timeline? There are two different versions of the FNAF movie. There's the physical movie itself, and then there's Five Nights at Freddy's, the official movie novel adapted by Andrea Wagner, the author of many different official FNAF stories. In both of these versions, Vanessa is the daughter of William Afton, but we get a little more information in the novel adaptation. William B.A. over on Twitter, or X if you will, created a really thorough comparison between the movie and the novel. According to them, Vanessa and Mike get into an argument and Mike begins to question who Vanessa truly is, which makes her cry. This maps within the movie. When Vanessa is revealing her connection with William, we can see her get emotional. This also tracks with the same third CD. After talking about her father, she starts to get more emotional than she was before.
I feel like I know your dad, too. Bill, right? Your dad's name was Bill? I'm sorry, what did you say?
I try to do what I'm supposed to do.
In the CD, she once again seems to have these emotional reactions relating to her origin. If we want to take a quick look at William Afton, in the movie we see how manipulative he really is. He's controlling these ghost children and Vanessa is afraid to stand up to him, and in this CD we can see William actively manipulating Vanessa, with her being too scared to stand up to him, telling the therapist that she's trying to do what she's supposed to do and that she was supposed to be a good girl. Right here would finally explain the Mimic's obsession with Vanessa. If Vanessa is meant to be the daughter of the man it's impersonating, the Mimic will act in the same way that we see it act towards Vanessa. It will continue to manipulate her, and in this case, create a legacy. A legacy, which is the same thing we are seeing in Princess Quest. I mean, it is called Princess Quest. A princess is a legacy. Vanny is, excuse my pun, the heir to the throne. This would explain all the comments from Vanny in Help Wanted. When looking at her secret voice lines, she says, "I made it myself, I think you would like it." No one suspects anything. Don't worry, I'll be ready and I won't let you down. She is once again concerned about letting her father down. But here's the issue. Vanessa was never seen in any depictions of the Afton family, so how could she possibly be William's daughter? Well, the answer is once again in the FNAF movie. In the newly established Schmidt family, we see a member that often passes as Michael's daughter based on her young age. This character is Abby. She is Michael's sister, but was born much after the rest of her siblings. The idea of a late child gives us our answer. Vanessa is the youngest Afton child. The game story of Vanessa parallels the movie story of Abby. In the Schmidt family flashbacks within the FNAF movie, Abby was never present simply because she wasn't born yet. Why was Vanessa never present in scenes relating to the Aftons? Well, she simply wasn't born yet. In the movie, much after the loss of one of their children, the Schmidts had another, which is Abby. In the games, we know the Aftons lose a child, and by paralleling it to the movie, they would have had another much later, which is Vanessa. The two stories around these families greatly parallel each other, giving us our answer to Vanessa's place within the Afton family. Once again, this doesn't mean that everything in the FNAF movie is canon to the game timeline. Just like we mentioned before, alternate timelines are meant to push us in the right directions and help us explain certain events within the game timeline. Abby, being a late child within the movie, seems to be the push we needed to explain Vanessa's origin. Not only would this explain why Vanessa was never present in early Afton depictions, but this would also explain all these Afton connections within Security Breach and Help Wanted 2. Vanessa, being an Afton, would explain how there could possibly be a staff-bot depiction of the Afton family. This would explain how Michael's room could possibly be here in the Security Breach location, as it was located in the Afton family house, and if Michael took care of Vanessa like he did with Abby in the movie, it would draw a further connection between the two of them. This would even explain the sister location elevator in the Princess Quest 4 ending, as she is now fully confronting her past, removing her father from her life for good. This is why the game is called Thumper in the game files. Thumper is a gray rabbit in Bambi, but his name means more than you might think. Rabbits naturally thump their feet in the wild, but this is done when they are scared or if there is danger nearby. This is called the name of a gray rabbit because this is Vanessa's game. The final confrontation with her father, a subject that makes her nervous and emotional, the same reason that rabbits thump their back legs. Now for the final question, the one we ended our last Help Wanted 2 theory with: why is Remember Jeremy so connected with Bonnie? Well, this is more speculative, but if we are to say that Vanessa is an Afton, then this connection would kind of make sense. To Vanessa, the name Jeremy doesn't just mean the person testing the Freddy Fazbear virtual experience, it's the name of one of her father's victims. It means Bonnie. It would make sense if the connections that we see between Jeremy and Bonnie are simply being perceived by Vanessa, making connections to her past. This is the specific event that in the movie made Vanessa so emotional and determined to stop her father. She refused to let this happen again with Abby. In the games, the Remember Jeremy message would motivate Vanessa to not just stop the mimic, but finally stop her father, giving her that final motivation to crush him in her hands. Phew, that was so much information, but there's plenty more to come. If you haven't watched our previous Help Wanted 2 theories, make sure you click the card on the top right of the screen to watch those now. In those videos, we discuss the endings and the meaning of Remember Jeremy. If you want to check out all of our FNAF theories, click the link in the description to go to that playlist. If you want to see us analyze FNAF games to see if they are good or bad, check out our FNAF analysis playlist. If you've already watched all of those and want to see more FNAF content, make sure to ring that bell after subscribing to stay notified when we upload, because we're going to continue theorizing on Help Wanted 2 and other FNAF projects as they release. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe. Let me know what you think of this theory in the comments below. Let me know if you have any information that could either prove or disprove this theory. Once again, this is still a theory and can always be disproven later when we learn more information. If you want to talk to my team and I directly, make sure to join our Discord or check out our subreddit. If you join our Discord, you can talk to all of us that work on these videos, from the scripts to the editing, and with other fans that like to talk about these series. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.